We were able to raise, $8.2 million. We were out for a $2 million raise, but instead we oversubscribed, 4 times over to 8.2 million. We've already done 4,200 meters of drilling there. We know that the phosphate is there. Now we're able to really, define that resource, and then be able to get that into a PEA rather quickly. And we believe that this will be a resource that we might be able to move into feasibility.
Well, everybody, and welcome to Betweenplays Stock Market Strategies. My voice is just a little bit out from this PDAC. It's been crazy 2024 PDAC. It was nonstop. And here with us today, we have John Pasalacqua, who we've also seen at PDAC for First Phosphate. John, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, Albert. Thanks for having me.
How's the voice? I mean, you must have been talking like with everybody like crazy. I mean, we saw you do that whole speech there at the auditorium. How's the voice doing, and how are the feet doing?
Yeah, I think the voice is okay. I think the feet need a little bit of help.
Oh my God, tell me about it. I mean, the whole, for the people that haven't been there, the way the setup is, it's just massive, north and south and stuff, and you're running all over the place. John, how did you feel about the PDAC 2024? I have a lot of great takeaways from it. A lot of positive sentiment. I mean, can you just get a little bit into your experiences, maybe, your networking and stuff like that?
Yeah, look, I think PDAC, and I saw, if you want to focus on one thing on PDAC that's getting stronger, it's the international component. Like everybody's coming to Canada for critical minerals. The amount of U.S. government, U.S. states, U.S. companies, Europeans, Asians, from all over the world, South America, even, a lot of the companies, lithium companies out of South America, they're all exhibiting at PDAC. PDAC is that one thing that Canada has that everybody wants to come to, and it's great. And it's great for us because, we can go down there and you can have meetings with everybody from around the world. It saves you 10, 20 business trips around the world. So really important event for us and very, very productive. And yeah, it's growing. It's growing in terms of its international exposure because of critical minerals. And I think that's what we need to focus on, not anything else really.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true because we had a lot of meetings with people from Brazil and from Africa, and it's true that PDAC has that sentiment of the international community, the world stage, and it's funny because you're mentioning it, but I didn't really put it in that context, but it's true. As we were talking to everybody, the critical minerals component and the importance that's playing in the future, because, electric vehicles, energy battery storage, and all this kind of stuff, the one element that we can go from the technological sector to critical minerals to put them together is the IoTs, the Internet of Things, right? It's going to be linking it all up. And that's like sort of like with the digital age, what's coming up over here. So, John, everything being said, all right, from PDAC, what you've done in the past, what does 2024 look like for First Phosphate?
I mean, First Phosphate got a huge vote of confidence back in December of last year and January of this year. We were able to raise, $8.2 million. We were out for a $2 million raise, but instead we oversubscribed, 4 times over to 8.2 million. I mean, that was great. It's allowed us to now be able to fully uncover the Beijing-Lamarche phosphate horizon that we know of. It's a 3-kilometer strike zone by 500. We've already done 4,200 meters of drilling there. We know that the phosphate is there. Now we're able to really, define that resource, and then be able to get that into a PEA rather quickly. And we believe that this will be a resource that we might be able to move into feasibility. So, I mean, big things coming on the ground for First Phosphate. We're also working with a lot of strategic partners on fulfilling some of the offtake agreements that we already have in place for LFP CAM. We're looking at building a functionality around iron phosphate, which is a precursor for LFP CAM. And we're also now moving into feasibility on our purified phosphoric acid plant at the Port of Saguenay. I know that's a lot of things for a lot of people, but I mean, just to sum it all up, the whole supply chain is coming together. Our whole vision of going from, a mine all the way to the production of LFP CAM, not by ourselves, not with massive capexes, but with partners, some of the world's biggest partners, is well underway, and we're going to see that vision coming together. It's like a puzzle, when you build a puzzle, when you start getting all the puzzles on the table, then you put them all in order. You put all the borders on one side, you put all the one colors on the other side. So you start building the puzzle. The puzzle's coming together, and I'm very happy as CEO operationally where this company is going, and us being able to meet all of our expectations this year.
And naturally, I mean, I was looking at the stock price. I mean, this looks like a great entry level, opportunity for investors, given the fact that, when we do look at LFP, and I like to focus a lot on the LFMP aspect, at Goshen released. For me, that's the big thing here, because of the fact that when you take LFMP, what ends up happening is that we pretty much eliminate range anxiety, which is, one of the big things that people look at. And safety, it doesn't have that thermal runway, and for me, with kids in the back of the car and stuff like that, it's just plays an important part. And if LFMP, as Goshen's putting out, it's in production, it's out there. I mean, look, for me, First Phosphate, even with the LFP, but I'm saying with the LFMP, which is out there already, this is very strategically the best, I think, for myself as a person that's an investor looking at the digital age, the EV revolution, energy battery storage. This is a huge thing. LFMP is here. LFP is here. Do you have anything that you might want to add to that before we go? Because I know it's a very busy day. You just came back from PDAC, so maybe we'll touch up on that for the last thing, and maybe it's something you want to mention to the investors.
Yeah, so I think LFP has got, like you said, it's got safety wrapped around it. It's also got a lot of flexibility, and also it's got price behind it, right? So if you just need entry level, you use LFP. The range might be a little bit shorter, but that's fine because most of the vehicles don't need the range in the city.
Correct.
But if you want something that sort of mimics almost like the performance of an NMC, then you would put a splash of manganese in there, and you have LFMP, and you have all the benefits of NMC and LFP, but still at a lower price.
Yes.
So, it's great that it's got those two sort of low cost, higher ranged options to LFP. That's the great thing, the flexibility of it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, John, for being here today. And definitely we'd love to have you, during the year as always, and to keep us up to date and all the investors up to date that are following you.
Yeah, that's great. And, there's just one last thing. We've had a lot of queries from investors about, around share price. I mean, since the fall off of lithium in January, all the battery material stocks have been hit. And so, I just look at it from this standpoint. I mean, you have to really look at the companies and the management that you think is out there to build a business. And you can't expect to be trading these things like, in and out, back and forth. Like you have to be able to say, hey, like, is this a company? Is this a management that I think I can believe in? Are these shares that I can hold? That I think is the name of the game here, because it's very hard to predict how the markets react. It's very hard to predict how electrification will build out. We know that it's coming, but it's a matter of being patient, right? And so I urge investors to be patient with all the battery metal companies out there, and battery material companies, but to choose the ones that they feel are the best position, that have the best management teams, and just try not to take away some of the volatility out there, because it's not good for anybody.
Yes, absolutely. And just to add up on that, we had a video that was done with Hassan. I'm going to link it over here, and it touches up actually on what you just said. And at Betweenplays, that's one of the things that we're trying to do, is always stay with the winners. So John, on that, thank you so much for being here today. Like I said, I know you're extremely busy, just finished PDAC, so I'll be letting you go. And for everybody out there, always remember: research, prepare, plan, execute. John, First Phosphate, John Pasalak was CEO of First Phosphate. Thank you very much, John. See you soon.
Thanks, Albert. Take care.
See you.
Betweenplays. It's the journey and what you do between where you are and where you want to be. Research, prepare, plan, and execute your strategy. Do your DD and stay strong in visualizing and achieving your goals. Our strategy is unique since 2020. An original concept imitated, never duplicated. Real conversations with media influencers, educational and expert speakers, analysts and consultants. Betweenplays, bridging the gap between companies and investors.